Hi, good morning. Hello. I've started this live video. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to add our guest and my bestie. Jessica, and we'll wait for her. Hi. Good morning, good morning. How's everyone doing today? Grab your drink of choice. Mine is coffee. Today it's coffee. Mid-afternoon, it's probably a matcha, but right now it's coffee. Hold on, here she's coming. Hello, how's life? Somebody's asked me. How's life? Life is good. Life is good. Oh, here we go.
It works.
Hi. Adjust this camera so I can see you. Hi, love.
Hi.
Good morning.
Well,
good afternoon for you.
It's afternoon for me.
Okay, I know. I was just saying, I'm having coffee. What are you having?
Water.
Water. You know, Eduardo was lecturing me last night that I was drinking too much water and that you can drink too much water.
It sounds like something Christopher might say.
Yeah. What is it with the hobbies?
You can have too much of anything.
Too much water. Yeah.
You can have too much of anything.
You what?
You can have too much of anything.
That's what I think. I mean, I guess so, but I don't feel like I'm drinking
too much love.
Not too much love. I thank you so much, Jess, for jumping on with me and with everybody. I'm so happy to see you, and I think everyone that probably is showing up knows my love for you and our long friendship. And those of you that somehow have not been around or don't know, but you know, Jessica is, amongst many things, not only an amazing actor who has been on so many things, but now last week popped back up on Grey's, which, you know, was your long-standing series. How many years did you do? 10, 11, 12?
10 seasons.
10 seasons. Oh my gosh. That's what I thought. Wow. I can remember when you started it. But she's also a mama of 4 amazing children, and she's the bestest friend in the whole wide world. And one of the things that I definitely want to dig into today is we want to talk about what it means to have long-standing friendships, and not just female friendships, but all friendships, and just, you know, you're everything to me. So, so thank you. I know, you know, Jess and I, now that she lives on the East Coast, we get our check-ins are either in our car dropping off, right, or when you get to fly in, or we get to sort of have these little like powwow moments, a day or two or an hour, or whatever it is.
Yeah, you have to be a little more deliberate, right? With your friends that might be a 3-hour time difference away. You just have to get more deliberate. But I've actually found that with, you know, in different relationships, I find that having to be more deliberate actually can add more, because you don't take it for granted, right? You know that you have to seek it out, you have to make an appointment for it, you have to show up, you have to do all that. But yeah, the 3-hour time difference is funny, right? It's like you're just having the morning sun and I'm getting blasted with the afternoon sun in the back of my house. Like the place that I sort of work during the day, it is funny, midday you just get blasted. But
by the way, my family's now gotten used to these last 3 years that you've been away. They're like, Jess is coming to town. Everybody stop. Jess is coming to town.
I'm glad that they feel the same way that I do.
Calendar, it's out. I'm there. I'm showing up. Like, it doesn't matter. It's almost like, oh, wait, hold on. I'm like, see ya.
They feel the same way I do. I'm like, everybody stop. I'm here.
You are. You just go up. You're like, I'm coming tomorrow.
I know.
At this time.
Sometimes I'll be like, wait, so what do you have for dinner tomorrow night? And you'll be like, I have a plan. And I'll be like, what? Like, why wouldn't you cancel that plan?
It's totally like that. True. It's totally like that. And by the way, it was so much fun that when you were here, when was it, like a month ago, or already it feels like a few weeks ago, when we went out to all these Oscar parties and did all this kind of, you know, fun party hopping that we used to do in our 20s. What?
In our stretch limo.
In our stretch limo. So
you don't find very many of those these days, but we had one.
we might have to share one of those really funny pictures, but a stretch limo came to pick us up, and we're talking like 80s prom down the block. And
right. And also, to be clear, we didn't order it. We didn't order a stretch limo. We just got a stretch limo. And it was sold as an upgrade. Like, look at you guys. You guys get a stretch limo. I was like, oh, dear Lordy. Are we going to see an emerging?
You were super hot in this dress that you had on. It was very Michelle Pfeiffer, like, you know, Scarface. Like, it was, is that the one? Scarface.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You looked so hot. The bangs, the hair, the low color. I mean, Jessica showed up with the stretch limo and the dress, and I was like, oh no. It was so good.
A stretch limo plus that dress was a little bit, I know, I wish I could give you guys a visual, but
none of the parties were as fun as just that. That's all we needed. We needed the stretch limo and you in that dress.
Well, but that's a nice intro into the friendship vibe, because isn't it sort of true that, it's always been true for me that on some level, like when I used to get ready with my girlfriends for a party or to go out or whatever, almost always the getting ready was more fun than the event, right? It's just about relationship and being with your people and having a little bit of fun.
Yeah,
or a lot.
So true. When I same thing.
Yeah.
They all get together, they all do the whole getting ready part, then they're out the door and they're back like an hour. I said, wait, all of that for this 1 hour? They're like, yeah, it was more fun getting ready.
It's true though. It's true.
Is that a girl? That's like a girl. I mean, girls love that. Girls
I don't know.
Love the whole.
I don't know. I feel like some guys need to show up and say that they like getting ready for us. I'm open to it.
Well, hold on. Have we even discussed this whole thing with boys and their cologne right now?
I don't have that happening in my house.
Oh,
tell me more. Tell me more. Because I don't know that I could withstand that.
There's a cologne thing going on with boys. Does anybody know about this? Because it's like, I don't know. I guess like, you know, TikTok or whatever has blown up this kind of cologne thing. And so boys are starting to wear cologne, like, which is fine. But we had a funny moment where Leonardo wanted to try some cologne. So Eduardo gave him like a half a bottle of something that he had and said, here, you can have this one. And then Leo went out with his friends and they all were trying cologne. He wanted to buy one that he thought was him. And Eduardo said, no, you've chosen it. You pick one and that's the one you stick to. And he was like, what? All my friends have lots of different colognes. They wear different ones.
Well, I'm going to venture a guess that was spoken like a true Italian, because I lived in Italy for a minute and I can report that my experience was that Italians were 1 cent kind of guys. and it was all the same scent in whatever year it was that I was in my junior year abroad. And it was really, it was strong and a lot.
The Italian men really like you though, Jess, because that always reminds me of the time that you were very pregnant. Do you remember?
No, I don't remember this story. Is it going to embarrass me?
Very pregnant, and you got hit on by this guy who couldn't tell when he saw you for whatever reason, and then you were kind of like, "I'm really pregnant right now."
Yeah, that's embarrassing. So embarrassing.
Do you remember that?
Where were we?
It was when you came to visit me in Geneva. Yeah. It was like you went to Italy for a little thing, but you were 7 months. I mean, you were far along, and you were looking at him going, is this really happening? And then
what are you doing?
Going, and he didn't care. He did not care.
I do vaguely remember that. That's when you know how to draw very strong boundaries. You learn to draw boundaries.
I just remember you being like, oh my gosh, that was really strange. Like I was looking at him and he just didn't stop. He kind of just didn't care.
No, I don't know. You're embarrassing me. I don't know how I answered that. Okay. So anyways, let's talk about friendship.
Let's talk about friendship. So how we have been friends for many years. We don't have to say how many years, but so many years. And we met, when we initially met, people had kind of said, oh, you know, you remind me of Jessica Capshaw, or you remind me of Sasha, right? Yeah. It was a little bit of like, You can tell it.
Well, no,
Tell it.
I was doing my first show ever, and it got picked up for, I don't know, 12 episodes. And I was working with Vicky Dick again. This person, Sasha, I don't know them, and no one's like me. I'm my only me.
No one's like me. Who is this person?
Who is this person? So I remember that being sort of the groundwork that was laid, and then I don't know, there probably were a couple other people, and it turns out I think that it was also happening for you on some level. And then I remember going to audition for a movie, and I remember sitting in the waiting room, and wait, do you remember who came first? I think you were already there, because when I went to go sign in, I saw your name, and I looked at the group of young ladies that were waiting, and I was like, "Who's Sasha? Are you Sasha?" And you were like, yeah, it's me." And I remember being like, "You and I, it's Jessica Capshaw," and you were like, "What?" And then I was like, "Afterwards, we're having coffee. We're going out. We're doing something."
You were like, "We should meet. We
Yeah.
should meet." Yeah.
Yeah.
We did. And
Yeah.
then we went for coffee.
Yes, we went for coffee.
We went for coffee. And while we were having coffee, we both got a phone call that we had gotten a job.
Well, no,
I got
a call, but you got a job. I got a call back. I did do it, and I did end up doing that job. So
we were both sitting on a bench, I remember, with our coffees, and we got good news, and we were like, "That's great. Maybe we're each other's lucky charm." That was amazing.
I know, on Larchmont Boulevard in LA.
Yeah, I remember. But one of the things, Jess, that's so that, like, when I think of our years of friendship, and then I look at our daughters, and you sort of go, you're watching little girls in 4th grade and 5th grade start to become mean and whatever. It becomes like this thing where girls are a certain way with each other, right? My feeling about that now, in watching my daughter growing up, and also just my own experience as an adult woman and having long-standing friendships like yours, is that we're complicated creatures, us ladies. Like, we have a lot of feelings, and we are growing into ourselves and our own comfort with ourselves. And I feel like we naturally put a lot of pressure on ourselves, pressure that I just don't see always like boys doing. I don't think that they judge each other the same. They don't look at another guy and go, "Well, I don't have the hair like he does," or "I don't have," maybe they do, but not. I feel like we have, even just through puberty, we go through it earlier than boys do. So naturally that teen period is a bit more wrought with feelings, right? But what I find beautiful is that it is so important. Female friendships are so important. All friendships are important, but female to female friendships are so important, because when you find your person, understanding that being completely selfless and only like I always say to you, we were never gray. There's like, you're for somebody, you're not for somebody. There's like a black and white thing, but like gray is like, you're sometimes for them, you're sometimes not for them. I don't think that's friendship. I think real friendship is you're always for that person. Always.
Yeah.
Like there's no like, oh, like, they got this thing over me and I'm somehow like jealous about that. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, I don't think that way. And I feel like you and I never had any of that. Like, people sort of wonder, oh, you're both actors, you probably go up for similar things, but we don't operate like that ever.
No, but listen, I can only speak for myself here, but I find that just on that topic, right? Jealousy. I find that, jealousy for obvious reasons gets, painted in a very negative way, and it gets sort of demonized. Like, jealousy will take you down. And I do think that comparison is so dangerous. But we all feel it. Like, we all feel jealousy, or we all think, like, there have been times in our careers where, things were going better for you, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think what I'm getting to is like the normalization of a feeling of like, oh, I would like to have that too, but never I want to take that from that person. Right. So for me, I think that that's sort of an important distinction, only because I think, especially, as we're growing and evolving, we can be really hard on ourselves about thinking, oh my gosh, am I not a good friend because I don't want I'm jealous of something my friend has? And it's like, well, no, but that's normal. I think that I think you wouldn't be feeling your feelings if you didn't think, like, I'd like that too. But it's how you process them and then how you speak about it to yourself and to others that I think is the most important piece, which is like, again, there have been times where, I mean, I remember a good solid period being like, man, she's getting so many auditions and she's got these opportunities, or she just got this job and that's so cool. And again, thinking like, I would love to have that too, but never instead of her. And so I think that
Right.
that's the relational piece of friendship when you know you have it good, is that again, you are always for that person. And so you can celebrate the good things that are happening in their life and at the same time want them for yourself too.
Well, and I also think, like, despite, even aside from just career stuff, I mean, I feel like, you know, we've been through, you know, marriage and children and, you know, parenting and watching all the different evolutions and transitions, and some friends just stay on that ride together, right? And it does take a lot of, like, um I don't know, I feel like it takes a lot of a little bit how I feel even just in my marriage, which is just like, you love a person unconditionally, that whatever they're going through or whatever you're going through, you hope that they're going to have the patience and love to just forgive and let you move through your thing, and that they'll be there, right? Like, we hope that that's the case, because hopefully the friendship and that relationship means more than any kind of petty moment of anything that's maybe not as important.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you think about that? Like, if you talk about longevity of friendships, is there something that you feel is you've learned, or that you think?
Totally. Yes, I think like the first thing that comes to mind is probably with all, but important in friendship, which is assuming positive intent. You know, so often you get stuck in a mindset, or you see people that are constantly thinking the worst and assuming that someone meant to hurt them by something, or meant to exclude them, or meant to, you know, not consider them, or didn't read their mind.
Yeah.
and and then, you know, again, we're human beings, right? So we have that protective instinct to be like, rah! Like, no, that person, no thank you, and out, and avoid, and, you know, hurt first if you feel like you're going to get hurt, or hurt back a million times more, whatever that thing is, whatever your adaptation is, or whatever your, you know, whatever behavior usually comes to the top when something like that happens. But I think that in work and in friendships at work, friendships in your real life, marriage, your children, all of it, like, I find that everything is made better by assuming positive intent. I don't have people in my life for no reason. Um, and I think that when I get curious, if someone's hurt my feelings, when I get curious instead of mad, um, I have a better result. Like, because most often you're going to say, like, did you mean to hurt me? And most often the person's going to say no. And hopefully they can explain why you actually shouldn't be hurt at all. But maybe they can explain why they did the thing that hurt you. And then you can move on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that I think we're all pretty quick to, I don't think it's not a bad thing. I think it just needs to be adjusted. We all just sort of sometimes think the worst.
And you're raising 3 daughters. I have one.
Yeah.
One that I
Yeah.
have to go through that with, and you have the 3. Like, oh my gosh, you're an angel, a goddess of, you know, sunshine that has to sort of, like, you know, beam through, and, like, you know, and listen, your girls are the sweetest human beings ever. So they don't, you know, even if you have girls that are completely, let's say, well adjusted, and their character is not one of, you know, drama, it doesn't matter. Girls are growing, and there's always that kind of thing that we have to, as women, and as their mothers, be helping them raise their self-esteem in a way that they make choices that are good for them and authentic to them.
Yeah.
You know, so you have been, because you've been there every step of the way with Lucia, you have been such a guide with that because, you know, we learn differently. Like my mom, you know, came to this country when she was 17. Like how she was taught was not necessarily stuff she was putting in me. A lot of stuff you and I both had
Yeah.
to like kind of figure out on our own. You know, we were both only children for a long time. I mean, you're definitely not, but you were until you were
Yeah.
11.
Yeah.
And and so there's so many things now that I think like, you know, we have to intentionally teach our daughters so that we can in some way help them move through that in a more, you know, in a stronger way. I mean, everyone's got their path, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, and I mean, I think in that world, the strongest thing we can do is live that, right? It could be the role
Yeah.
models. I mean, I find that talking to them about the thing is far less impactful than living the thing.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
girls made me laugh really hard because there was there was a not nefarious, but a character in our lives that had sort of like done a couple things that were a little bit naughty. And I had sort of gone, you know what, I'm assuming a positive intent. Also, like when someone shows you how they can behave, then it's then your choice to just not be with that person as much. And my girls were talking about it and they were talking about me to each other. And one of them said, like, we just saw, you know, so and so, and mom's talking to her right now. And the other one was like, oh, that one is just so not nice. And I bet you that mom's just being nice to her anyways. The other daughter was like, yeah, she is. She's fully being nice to her. She's really, she really, and it was just making me laugh because they were watching me live my truth, which was, hey, you know what? Like, keep your side of the street clean.
Yeah.
Someone wants to
Yeah.
behave like
Yeah.
that. Someone wants to be unkind. Someone wants to be naughty. Like they're showing you who they are. Right. You don't need to be in a relationship with them, but you don't need to be nasty. You don't need to be naughty back. You don't need to. Why? Like that just sort of pollutes your world. So I think that is definitely, I think, with them, and I think that they see, you know, I also talk to them a lot. I mean, they're, you know, I'm talking about the 13 and the 11-year-old, and they are constantly talking about what 13 and 11-year-olds talk about, which is like friend
Sephora?
groups. No, not Sephora. No, friend groups, like association, which is so like neurobiologically important at this age, which is like, where do I belong? Who wants me and who do I want back? And where does that fit into all the things? And how do I make sure? I mean, I remember being like with your, you know, with your lunch tray being like, where do I sit? Right? It's important. You have to feel belonging in order to thrive and to grow, which obviously is so important when you're at school because you've got a lot of other things to think about, like studying, math. I hate
Yeah.
math. English, whatever, right? And so feeling safe is so important. And so we talk about friend groups all the time. And obviously that is appropriate for them, given that I'm not in high school or middle school or elementary school. I always say, I'm not in a friend group. I don't have a clique. I don't have a thing because I enjoy so many different kinds of people and I don't need a clique anymore. I'm not in the same position. So I can be friends with a bunch of different people for a bunch of different reasons. And that can be okay.
Yeah.
And they're starting to wrap their heads around this.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's interesting? And I love this quality about Lucia. Like I really, really am so impressed because she goes to an all-girls school and I definitely think she learned a lot from there. But you know, two things. One is I believe that you have to let your kids kind of go through the fire to find their place. So I didn't really in 7th and 8th grade get involved in the little minutia of like arguments. I feel like they have to figure that out. She did this and this just happened or this person. I was like, okay, I would listen and then I'd say, well, I'm sure you'll figure it out, you know, or I'm sure there's a reason you can find out for that. I didn't get involved. And I think that that was really helpful. It doesn't mean that I didn't close the door to her room and be like, oh my God, what's happening?
Yeah. Or I'm going to kill somebody.
Oh yeah.
Not really, but you know what I mean.
Totally. You
Crush
get like
14-year-old girl.
Of course. And you want to go to school.
Who was mean to my baby?
Oh yeah, you and I can completely turn like what's that movie with Melissa McCarthy goes bananas? Is it like she goes completely crazy on the kid? Oh, was it her or was it wait, it wasn't Melissa McCarthy. Yeah, I thought it was. Julianne Moore.
You're welcome to a very, very Jessica and Sasha moment where I just go,
There was movie where she goes crazy at the kid who's mad at her. I think it's the movie with Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. So many situations that are like, I like people, you know that I get along with many groups of people, but I don't always feel like comfortable everywhere, and that's okay. Like, so I always have said the same thing to Lucia, which is like, hey, if that's how they're behaving, like, you should just take that in. That doesn't feel good for you. Find something else to do. Find another person to talk to.
Yeah.
And like take your space, right? And but I think the quality that she has is forgiveness. She really doesn't hold on to things. She totally forgives people for whatever. And maybe it's like she just kind of goes, yeah, yeah, she was like that. Whatever.
It's such an incredible quality.
Oh my God.
It's such an incredible quality. I struggle with that a little bit. Like even when people apologize right away, I'm a little bit like, it's fine.
I was
like it.
Shoulder. I held lots of grudges as a teen. My cousin.
No, and then my biggest move was I would just punish them with my silence.
Totally. That was me. Do you think that's like an only child thing? I always did that.
Well, I don't know, but it's also just highly avoidant and sort of unsophisticated. So I feel like hopefully we've grown out of it. Wait, so yeah. Are you seeing all the things that people are saying? Because of course I get distracted.
I was just going to tell you, first of all, I just want to say from Brazil to Germany to Mexico to wherever, you guys are amazing. We're so happy that you're showing up. And what I love is all the love going towards my bestie Jessica here. Lots of Grays fans, but also just Jessica, you're amazing. You are like,
we don't need to read those comments. I actually was just going to say maybe people have some questions for you or I.
No, but what I love is that first of all, and I was going to say the same thing. You look like sunshine. The eclipse did you?
I have sunshine beating on my face right now.
No, but your hair, you're blonde. You look so like, you know, California.
Well, because this isn't a real person, I actually didn't have to take a shower. Because believe you me, if you saw me in person, you'd be like,
in shower either. And it's okay. That's what it's about.
It's Tuesday morning.
It's cat.
Tuesday morning.
Does anyone have questions? Let's answer some questions about, well, first of all, I'll ask you this and then we can answer questions too. Did you have a great time going back to Gray's? Did you have the same trailer? Did it smell the same? Did you eat the same thing at craft service? Like, what's it like going back after you've had a little break? Because I kind of back to routines that I had at that same place.
Yeah, for sure. I loved going back. I did not have the same trailer. Everybody orders from my Postmates now, which was great. I was like, awesome. Because again, when I come back to Los Angeles, I completely have things that I have to eat. Like I have to have Jones on 3rd Chinese chicken salad, and I have to have the BLT there, and I have to have the salad that has the and not the salad, the little sandwich with the brie and the ham, and ooh, yum. And then I just have all these
brie and ham.
No, I do.
New York.
I do. It's not the same though. It's not the same. So yes, but it was incredible, and it was just. I mean, every time I turned a corner, there was someone who I hadn't seen in so long, and there's a lot of things like you. There are actual like work friends that you have when you're at work, and when you're outside of work, you might have completely different lives or live in different areas, and so you wouldn't be seeing them, and so it was so great to see all of them, and I was very happy.
Somebody just asked, what is a Chinese chicken salad?
Ooh, Jones on 3rd is a restaurant in Los Angeles on 3rd. And the woman who started its name is Joan. and she has what I think is a famous Chinese chicken salad. It's the most delicious dressing, and yeah, it's just a really yummy lettuce and chicken and
kind of a I would say, I mean, I don't know if it has soy in it, but there's kind of like a creamy,
it's delicious
Japanese style dressing on the chicken that's very good. I love it.
Very yummy.
Into the crispy rice thing on it for whatever reason, but that's just me. But it's
I just got a Taylor Swift favorite song question. Okay,
do
you listen to?
You know them all.
I was gonna say, do you listen to her like in your car?
No, I do not listen to her in my car.
Okay, that's okay. It's okay.
I want to say two things. One is the best experience ever going to the Eras tour with Jessica and with Lucia, but like Jess and Lucia know every lyric of everything, and so they were definitely just screaming their lungs out. And I mean, you went a couple of times because you took your girl.
I did. I'm gonna go again too. Okay, so here's how I feel about Taylor Swift, because I'm seeing all these questions. I feel that Taylor Swift and all of her songs and all of her eras are the gifts that keep on giving, because at any given time I have a different favorite song. But right now, um, oh God, I'm trying to think. What is my favorite right now? I have to say, I just kind of have a big Reputation phase, so I don't know. But anyways,
I love it. You know what, you made me a Swiftie, because by going to that concert and having that experience and watching just the sheer joy and love that that woman brings to everybody. I mean, from little girls, 4-year-olds to 90-year-olds jumping,
I know.
singing. It was like kind of amazing. And I remember in our little box, Hunter Schafer was there with her sisters.
Oh my
And
God,
Hunter and
sisters were hilarious.
they're amazing. I said, did you? Oh no, yeah, we were together. We saw her that night, and I told her sisters were so funny. But Hunter and I were the only ones that kind of didn't know every song, so we were a little bit behind you guys. And I have all these videos of you just from the back. You guys just,
oh my God,
so good.
Oh yeah. And I am, and people have been noticing, I am definitely in like my teenage girl era. My own personal between Taylor Swift and Olivia. But again, it's like
Olivia. You went to see Olivia. How was that? Amazing. I just love her.
I love her, and I have to thank Instagram for her. Because when she first started, I think "Good for You" had come out and it was on the radio all the time, and the girls started listening to it, and they don't have social media at all, and so if they want to look at something, they look at it on my phone. And I said, can we look at Olivia Rodrigo? And I said, yeah. And they said, will you follow her? And I said, of course. And so I went to go follow her. And you know, when you go to follow someone that already follows you, it says follow back. And when I pressed on it and it came up follow back, I mean, truly, we screamed so loud. I think I threw my phone. I was like, oh my gosh, she follows me. Oh, it was a full-blown fangirl moment. And then I followed her back, and then we actually we were chit-chatting in our DMs. So I guess that's a case where I slid into somebody's DMs.
You slid
I slid into her DMs, but I just adore her, and I love the young female poet, because that's what I think all these songwriters are. And I think that they are just so magical, and that there's all this room for them to express and tell stories and bring you into a moment and then imagine a moment. And I just think that the storytelling is so strong, and I think that that's what and then, I mean, listen, then when you combine it with the most incredible rhythms and music, it just becomes like, I don't know. I watch myself and I watch the girls just really be, I don't know what the word is, soothed, seen, held, all of the things. It's just all good.
I love all the female power of it. I mean, when we were coming up, it was like, you know, Madonna, and then there was like a lot of guys, but you know, Madonna was kind of that first person. And I remember going to her concert at 16, and it was just like everything. But it's really powerful to see these girls. I also feel like there's just it's just, I feel like there's a lot of personal storytelling, as you said, that's going on.
Yeah,
that's really fun to follow. It's great.
For sure.
Oh, good. And you are, you know, dancing queen, so you love to rock.
You're a far better dancer than I am, but I dance with abandon. So in my mind, I'm great. If I saw a video, probably less great.
And just for the record, neither of us care. When we went to Taylor Swift, we were dancing through those hallways with the guards that work there. They were
yeah, for sure. But I remember early a while ago. I mean, Tracy Anderson, who we both love, workout guru of the world. We used to go to her classes, and there was like the portion of them that was like, you know, lifting like little tiny weights, and then there was dancing, and the lifting of the little tiny weights totally had down. I was down to party, had it, did it, sweat it, whatever. And then it would transition over to the cardio part of the class, where there was definitely choreographed dancing. And that is just where Sasha Alexander just sings. She flies. All of a sudden she is like fucking all across the floor. And I am like in the back row. Like I just have no idea what's happening. None. Not one single.
But you know it's like, it's my soul. Like I actually now was thinking that I want to get a dance teacher and just dance more.
You can. I cannot. I can free dance, but I cannot choreograph dance.
Listen, but I think choreographed dance is so good for all of us because it's just a good memory thing. Like the thing with Tracy that I liked is that you can't learn it all in a day, but months and months and months of repeating it and repeating it, you sort of get to do, you know, I think that's the whole idea of it. But I get
even with months and months and months, I did not get it. But yes, thank you for reminding me of the months and months I tried.
months. It took me months too. I think she does it on purpose. It's not really something that you're supposed to pick up after the first time you do it. It's supposed to like take a long time to
I know.
do it. So no, it's not an easy thing. So what else? Well, I guess we're gonna like, do you want to take a question? Let's see. Anybody have, well, there's lots of questions for Jess. There was something asking about what's your favorite sweet treat?
Not, I'm more of a, I find that people either go savory or sweet. I'm a little more savory. So I'm a little bit more like, I love like a good, like a grilled cheese would be fantastic treat for me. But sweet treat, I would say that I definitely am like I'm a peanut butter and chocolate type gal. And Haagen-Dazs chocolate ice cream is probably my favorite thing in the world. My girls and I were eating that last night, and we have to talk about it every time we eat it too. We're like, this is just the best ice cream. So yeah.
Great. I love ice cream. All kinds of ice cream. They opened a place called Bacio de Latte. It's a gelato place nearby here. And it's so good. The line.
I can't wait to try.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Arizona, your favorite vacation spot?
Oh, anywhere with my people. I mean, I do love I either love a beach or but you know what, my favorite family vacation is actually going skiing. I love taking the kids skiing. Yeah, it really is.
And we've never gone skiing together, I don't think.
Once, a long time ago. We met you. We didn't go together, but I like the all doing an activity together, and then I love meeting for lunch, and then I love being done at the end of the day.
Like pasta,
so much lots of pasta. Lots of pasta.
Add that.
What?
Another key to longevity and friendships is sharing our food.
Yeah, yeah.
We.
Oh my gosh.
Little bit.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm someone who definitely like when you like whenever we make a date, I definitely center it around the food. I'm like, can we meet for dinner? Because I really want this.
I love dinner. You know what I was just thinking too is I just redid my pantry, and I was thinking about when we were talking about snacks. You're very organized pantry, and I called you when I was redoing mine. Like, what baskets should I get? What things? Because I love how snacks are organized. Like it's so pleasing to walk into one's pantry and see like your power bars or your chips, like whatever it is that you have, and be able to find them. I wish I had that as a kid. I didn't have them.
Oh, well, I was just about to say, I think that it's because like being organized makes me feel safe. That sounds crazy a little bit, but it kind of makes sense. I just when things are all over the place or disorganized, I'm focusing on that. But when things are where they're supposed to be and organized, then I feel safe. And so I actually think to myself, given that I am so organized, I always wonder, because it wasn't like that when I was a kid. And I do wonder, oh my gosh, someone's asking if I still ride Beso. Sorry, I just caught that out of the corner of my eye. Yes, we do still have Beso. I wonder if my kids are gonna be like that. Like I wonder if I'm gonna go into their pantry and it's gonna be like a hot mess.
Somebody just wrote funny because Arizona is a mess.
Is she? Is she a mess? Wow, guys. Oh you guys have another impression of her. I think she's very much together.
We like playing the opposites of what we are. You guys may or may not know, but Jessica and I guest starred on a show that Jessica was starring in. It was a really fun comedy called Thick and Thin.
Thick and Thin with Paula Pell from SNL.
Yeah. And it was really fun. And I was pregnant, or just found out I was pregnant, and I was really nauseous on the set. And Jessica went from literally starring in every single scene. She would leave the set and go and get me peanut butter and jelly and Gatorade and be taking care of my nausea while she was acting. So that's the kind of friend you are, my love. I love you.
True. I'm a caretaker. I'm learning how to not try to fix everything and solve everything, because that's actually, it always seemed in my life like that was a really positive trait. And sometimes it is, but all the time it's not.
And we can't. And we can't. And we have
no, yes. And also it implies that someone else isn't able to fix or solve. Or sometimes, you know what? Sometimes that's the hard part, right? Parenting and marriage, relationships, friendships, whatever. It's like, it's hard to sit with someone in their sad or mad, because that's that's tough, right? And so you just want to get out of it. You're like, where is the emergency exit? I would like to leave now. And I figured out my superhighway to the emergency exit was to just like jump into action and fix it. Yeah. That's not what was going on with us. I just wanted to make sure you weren't nauseous because it was the baby Lucia.
But I just remember sitting in a fetal position and you being like, having to go be like, hold on 1 second, they're on me right now. And then running out to do these scenes and then come back and take care of when I was.
Well, I would also say, by the way, in terms of advice, not that anyone's asking my advice, but I would say that it's one of the things that I actually don't talk about very much. I truly think that sometimes if you want something done, you should give it to the busiest person. I find that the more when I have purpose and I have direction and I have a lot of things to go from and to, that I actually am probably the person that's like, that's when I'm most ready to do more. Like because I'm like in go mode.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a big part of me.
Yeah. There's lots of big parts of you. And I just love your face. I love your face. So your face. Get to see you today, and this is so much fun to just be able to just hang, because I don't know, we don't always FaceTime because like I said, we're like driving and catching up.
More FaceTimes.
I love you so much.
I love you
for just checking in and doing
from with my beverage.
Yes, water beverage. That's all right. You're
and then you're gonna have to come on my podcast.
Yes.
I'll do your idea, and you're going to come on my podcast.
Yes. Do you want to mention a little bit about it? With you guys
coming soon. I mean, hopefully, I believe that it's going to be June 3rd. So that's exciting.
Yeah. I cannot wait. And she's the cutest, and the two of you together are amazing.
Oh my gosh. We're gonna have
sisters too. We all look like we could play sisters.
Yes, for sure.
Davis, we can get Vicky and we can do 4 sisters. We can have
Yes, definitely. No, it's going to be really fun. And I think it's going to be, I think, there's a big piece of it that involves, all the people who care about the show and our friendship. And we're going to have the opportunity for, calls and interactivity. So it's going to be, I think I'm really excited about it.
I'm so excited for you. And you are you're also a person who's always reading and super curious about so many things, and you're always well read, and you always have something that you're doing or thinking about. So often our conversations are always about all sorts of topics, whether we're learning more about our parenting stuff or the world, or ways to just, I don't want to say better ourselves, but educate ourselves and evolve.
Grow. But I mean, I feel the same. Yeah. And you and I are so funny, because we really are like that, that there's an unspoken tethering between you and I, where oftentimes whatever I'm reading or whatever I'm thinking about or whatever, I will say to you, like, have you heard of it? You're like, I was just reading that, or I was just thinking that, or I was just talking to somebody. So it's funny how that, that connection, where it really does, it is really very strong. And I think it's so awesome, because oftentimes when you're reading the same thing, you can see different things in it. And I love that some of the things that sit squarely in my blind spot, you see instantly. And so you'll bring them up and you'll be like, did you see it this way? And I was like, no, I didn't see it that way, but now I do, because of how you saw it. And so I think that that's so much fun. And again, I don't know. I think because the theme of this has been friendship, I think that the thing that I would want to hit home the most is for any and all who care about what I think of it, it's that you need friends. You actually need them. You don't, yes, you want them. And I think you go through different stages of like, being like wanting to like tally up how many you have and using it as power, or feeling that, more is better or less is better, whatever it is. But that is outside of what I think is the most important part of friendship, which is that you need it. Like the need for connection, the need for being able to talk out loud, to process, um, be vulnerable, and work on the bravery and courage that it takes to live with a small audience first, and one that you trust and that will give you, an honest feedback. And I think that that's been a giant part of our friendship too, is that like neither one of us are yes people. Like we've always challenged each other, or said, I understand why you see it like that. I don't agree. And I kind of see it like this. And that is like graduate level friendship, when you can hear that and be okay with it.
Yeah.
And even be irritated, or, whatever it is. And I think that is just so important. And I think that, it's interesting. I don't know where this fact came from, but someone brought it to me and I believe it. Which is that, and by the way, just to be very clear, I think gender differences are interesting to look at, because I think that they help us understand how to make each, like, allow for growth in each gender, if you will. So I don't ever say this stuff like one is bad, or one is better or lesser or whatever. But it was an interesting statistic about longevity and just life between males and females, and females outlive males. And one of the reasons that they ascribed was because men don't report and men don't talk about things as often, or even in a health situation, like if something's going wrong, they don't talk about it, or they, and again, that's a generalization, and have with it what you will. But I think that, again, just the processing and the understanding and the talking, and I wish for all genders and, all people all together to just be able to have more people to talk to, people that they trust, people who have their best interests at heart, and who assume the best of them, and will just be along for the ride and the journey, and the ways in which we can all grow.
They're beautiful words, Jess. And I know, but really, I take them in because that I feel like connection is just one of the things that makes me like, I absolutely need. It's like my medicine.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason I want to do this. Your podcast is going to do the same. Like, I feel like it's so important to connect in a time where we seemingly feel closer because we're connecting through social and all this stuff. In some ways, people also feel much more lonely and much more further apart. And so,
yes, and I want that to end. Can we make that our mission? Like, let's all make that our mission. Like, that needs to end. Yeah. This loneliness and this idea that you are going it alone. No, I can't wrap my head around that. And I would not allow for that in my own life, where I had any sort of control. I mean, I really want everyone to feel like they have, not just someone, but many. And hopefully, like I said, I mean, one of our goals on this podcast is to just include and have people be able to, call in and connect, and obviously always try to, the top note will always be humor, because that's sort of how she and I see things. But there's so much important work to do too, and understanding and thinking, and again, just not feeling alone, because no one is alone. No one should be alone.
Jessica, somebody was just asking. So Jessica's podcast with Camilla Luddington is on iHeartRadio, and it will be announced, like every detail about it will be announced very, very soon. But you did announce that you guys are doing it, and so all the details of it are coming at you. But I'm really glad, Jess, that you're doing that, because I do believe that it is so healing for all of us. And I am so lucky and grateful that we have had so many years of friendship. We were able to meet early in our 20s and be able to go through this life together and be able to help each other and learn from each other. And one of the things that about you that I absolutely love is just that I think that you and I have both been career women, but we have always had this love of family that we both share. And both found, which I'm super proud to say, we've both found a balance between prioritizing, you know, our marriage, our children, and also balancing our work. Sometimes they're not exactly the way we always wanted in percentages in our pie, and sometimes there's more of something, less of something. It doesn't matter. But one of the things I love about you is that you've never been blinded by this just sheer kind of like, I need to be, you know, relevant every moment of my life. Like, you're not like that. And I love that about you. And I step back. You don't answer your phone if you're with your kids and that's your priority, to be there and be present with them and do that. And that's why they're doing so well. And that's the biggest blessing ever. And I really admire that about you. And all these, I feel like that's something that we never questioned. It wasn't something that, you know, I knew that you were not prioritizing the things that actually are the deepest things to you, your family and all that. So I'm just really glad everyone's really happy that you are back out in our.
And I know, look at me. Am I relevant yet? What's
up? So I love you, and thank
I love you. I love you.
Podcast, and I can't wait to see you again. Will you please come out again? And
oh my gosh, yes. I actually think that I might be there next week, but I'll talk to you on the side about that.
Don't worry about everything.
It's drop everything. Tell everybody to
fly back.
What are we gonna eat? We'll figure out our eating menu, our menu, or whatever. All the things we'll eat.
All of it.
I love you so much, and I'm so proud of you. I love that you're making time and doing this and bringing on all these things. Tell everybody to
fly back.
What are we gonna eat? We'll figure out our eating menu, our menu, or whatever. All the things we'll eat.
All of it.
I love you so much, and I'm so proud of you. I love that you're making time and doing this and bringing on all these cool people, and I think that it's so much fun to watch and see and hear you. You are a wise woman.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm just happy to get everyone together, and it's so fun to see everybody from everywhere. Like,
I know,
so
it's so cool.
great.
It's so cool. There's been like India and Brazil, and it's crazy. It's crazy. It's so cool. It's so cool. And by the way, we only get to do what we do because of this connection, because of people who, you know, who do want to listen in or care or, you know, want to watch. And that is never, ever lost on me, that I would truly be alone in a room talking to myself if not for that. So I'm so grateful to all the people who came today to check in with us.
Thank you. And to you. Lots of love. I hope to see you soon. Big kiss to everybody, okay?
Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye. If I can turn it off.